Hi, this is David from myties.net. This tutorial is an introduction to Zazzle's new user interface for its online designer. The tutorial is ideal for existing users who are familiar with the legacy user interface, or for new users who want to get a quick start to how to use the online designer. To begin, go to the Create Your Own page on the Zazzle website. You'll find it at zazzle.com/custom. There'll be a link below in the description. So for this demonstration, I'm going to do, not surprisingly, a necktie. But you can apply these same tools to any of the hundreds of products that are available on the Zazzle website. Just enter the item that you want to in the search. Click on the pictures that come up. Click on the Add Your Design button, and that will take you to the Zazzle Designer. Here in Zazzle Designer, you create your design by adding items to the artboard here in the center. You do that by using this panel here on the left side. You can add text, you can add images uploaded from a computer or your phone. You can change the background color. You can add some standard elements, some icons, and you can control the layer of the items on your artboard here in this panel, which we'll look at in a few minutes. To get started, I'm going to add an element to the artboard. We'll start with a square. Most items, when they're added, come in very large. So the first thing you usually want to do is to get them to fit onto your artboard. Now you can do that by clicking and dragging the corner of the item and positioning it where you want on the product, depending on the design that you're working on. Okay, so you'll notice that as I've grabbed the item, you've got a snapping line there that shows you when you're in the center, which helps with the positioning. Okay, the other way that you can resize items, you can go up under alignment here, and you'll see there's a little button under scale. You can reduce or make larger. You just click on that. If you'd prefer to use that, you can. You can also do things like rotate, which I'm going to do for this item. I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees. It turns it into a diamond. If we want to get a closer look at something on the artboard, just come down here to the bottom and zoom in by hitting the plus symbol. You'll need to scroll down to get to the bottom there. Okay, more of the details of your selected item will appear here at the top. We're going to reduce the weight of that border. So we're going to say reduce that to 2 pixels. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can also do is add text to your item. So you add a text box, and I'm basically adding a monogram to this necktie. So I usually start with a W, since that usually is the widest letter, and it always places everything up here in the center. Okay, so with text, you can come up here to the top, pick your font, click here, come over to the panel, and I am just going to type in the name of a font that I use a lot. You can also scroll through that list and just experiment. You control the font size. We're going to go with the 60 point for now and see how that fits. Now, I'm going to want that at the bottom. So I can move it down there manually, or I can go to alignment and click here, and that will move it to the bottom of the screen. Then we scroll down and I can move it up to that diamond. And you'll notice I've got those centering lines snapping and showing there to help me position it. So that's how the monogram will look. Now if we look under layers, you'll notice that all the items are listed there now. And I can actually come here and drag those and reposition the layering of my items. I can also right click on the item and send it to back or send it backward. So you just need to practice with those items and you'll find the way that is the easiest for you. Now, ties are usually pretty simple. I usually use a pattern to do the design of the necktie. So I'd usually do that by creating a tile, and sometimes I'll use AI like a Midjourney to create the tile, and sometimes I'll design it myself using software like Affinity Designer. Well, it's actually just called Affinity now, and that software is free, so if you're interested in designing your own designs, that software is now free, so I recommend that you download it and get familiar with it. Okay, so let's get back to our design. We're going to add a tile that I actually designed in Midjourney. So this was created by AI. It's a little steampunk gear seamless pattern tile. And we're going to upload that, which I had already uploaded it once, but it'll place it on at the center of your design. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pattern function of Zazzle Designer and create a pattern background for my necktie. So let's go up under Effects. We're going to click Effects. A new panel will pop up here on the left side, and if you scroll down a little bit you're going to see the tiling options, and I always use Basic, and that will create a tile. Now at the bottom you'll notice you have options for tile size. Now you can actually reduce the size of your tile, and I usually start by reducing it by half, so let's change that to 2 inches. The other thing that I do is you'll notice you can the eye will create these patterns where you can see the edges of the tile. So to hide that and get rid of that sort of patterning that shows up is I will actually alter the angle of the tile itself. So I will actually rotate it 45 degrees, and it makes it it makes it more difficult to actually see those patterns within the design of the tile. Now you'll notice that the pattern that I created ended up on top of the monogram that I created earlier. So we can come up over here to layers, and I can actually drag that tile to be behind the monogram, and now the monogram is on top. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to color my monogram to be, in sync with the design of the pattern. So to do that, let's start by going to Fill Color, and we're going to get the medicine dropper under Custom Color. Click on that, and we're going to select a color from within the pattern. Let's get something that's dark. Like that. And then we're going to add a border color, a line color, and we're going to select the medicine dropper again, and we're going to select a color that is lighter. Okay, so now the outline of the diamond is a light border color. You'll see that when I unselect it. And I'm going to select my text, and I'm going to make it the same color as my border. So now I have matching colors for my monogram. Now what I want to do is I want to go up under preview and take a look at what I've done so far. And we're just working on the front here. And with neckties, the easiest one to take a look at or get a close look at the monogram in the background is this rolled version of the preview. You can also see how it will look in various situations. Now you'll notice the back of the tie is not done yet, so what we need to do is go back to the artboard, click over here to go to the back. You'll notice that it is blank right now. Let's go back to the front. I want to select the pattern tile, and I'm going to copy it, go back to the back of the tie, and I'm just going to paste it onto the back. Now when I go to preview, you can see the back of the tie. Now one of the things about the monogram is they duplicate the front of the tie onto the back, so you get this vestigial sort of monogram on the back of the tie, but it's not visible when you tie the tie. So if that bugs you, you might not want to do the monogram like this. But I find that most people don't seem to mind, and it's sort of a mark of the design that you have that vestigial monogram on the back. Anyway, so that's how you create that and how you use the preview to check how your work is going. Let's go back to the front. Just a quick note, you'll notice that this little back of the tie doesn't look completed. That's the little tail of the skinny part of the necktie. It won't ever on the artboard look like it's got a pattern on it, and that's a little distracting. But if you go to preview, you'll notice once you've completed the back that the preview will show it, but it'll never show up here. Next, these little buttons here up in the upper right hand corner will actually walk you through the final process to make sure that you do all of the steps that are necessary to complete your design. And if you go up here next, it'll go review. And it'll walk you through the review process. You can look at the previews and to make sure that the necktie or whatever product you're designing looks like how you expect it to look. So if everything looks good, then what you can do is add it to cart, and then you're done. Stop by myties.net to see more of my necktie designs or for other tutorials. Thanks a lot.